Kris here, another quick tip for you all. In this video, we're going to take a look at using the Citadel Contrast paints to create an Alpha Legion color scheme with a metallic background. So as you can see here, we have our model all ready to go, and he was primed with lead belcher spray. This is the Citadel metal spray. This was sprayed directly on top of the plastic, so this is just straight up metal right on the surface. We're going to use Achillean green from the Citadel Contrast. We're going to use the contrast medium just to thin the color out ever so slightly. As we move our way through, you can see I'm just simply adding the medium to my dollop of contrast, again, just to kind of get the initial consistency that I'm looking for, and simply just begin laying it down onto the surface. As you can see, it covers fairly well. It is not terribly saturated as opposed to what you normally would see. But I do like how it covers, and if this is the kind of look that you're going for, again, this is kind of demonstrating kind of a right out of the bottle type approach. I made another mixture of contrast with the medium, and I didn't quite use enough, and so I ended up liking how this actually looked better, and so I ended up preferring and going with that method. You can see the left the left hand side is a little bit more saturated than the right hand side, so I ended up going back over some of those other areas with this mixture. And I was a little bit worried about applying multiple layers like that and really kind of ended up having to go back and forth, but it evened out in the end, so I was quite happy with that. Stormhost Silver is next. And as you can see with the finish of the Achillean green on top of the metal, how it still looks like a nice metallic effect, but there is a little bit lost in that metallic luster, which, if that's what you're going for, I think, you'll like this effect. Here you can see I'm using the Stormhost Silver, simply going around the edges of the model. Now, the way I'm going about this Alpha Legion kind of color scheme is kind of like out of the 40K Codex. So this is post-heresy color scheme, as it were. And in fact, as I did the silver along the edges, I actually kind of like the look that this gave. So for anybody who wants to just, do this, I think that'd be kind of cool too. We're going to use Warp Lightning, the contrast variety, of course, and we're simply going to lay this right on top of the Stormhost Silver. Now, I'm trying to be a little bit careful here, but otherwise I end up just basically applying it on pretty much the high points. And again, as I mentioned, this is imitating the Alpha Legion scheme right out of the regular 40K Codex. So they have this kind of blue armor with green edges. And as you can see, it's pretty convincing. Again, this is more of a trial of the colors and kind of seeing what kind of effects we can get with this. And overall, I was kind of liking the overall effect. It is a little bit dark for my liking, but again, somebody out there for a quick, easy way of getting this kind of effect done on their models, I definitely would recommend something like this. Now, for those that aren't happy about that matte finish, let's throw a layer of art coat on. And you can see here, I'm not thinning it out at all, so I'm just simply applying it to the surface, pretty much straight out of the bottle. Usually whenever I apply art coat, I do thin it a bit with water, but here I'm just kind of slapping it right onto the model surface and allowing it to dry. I only do the upper half, just so you can kind of see a contrast between the upper portion and the lower portion. So his legs are still a matte finish, whereas the upper portion is a gloss, and you can see a bit of that metallic shine does come back. But again, for anybody who does want to do a quick way of getting Alpha Legion done, this is kind of a quick way of getting it done with the contrasts. Stay tuned for an alternate version of doing the Alpha Legion.